What is the Patoshi Pattern? The Patoshi Pattern is a mining pattern discovered by researcher Sergio Demian Lerner that suggests a single entity mined a large number of Bitcoin blocks in early 2009, right after Bitcoin was launched. This pattern is used to identify which early wallets and mined blocks probably belong to Satoshi Nakamoto. How was the Patoshi pattern discovered? Bitcoin mining works by finding a nonce that makes a block's hash valid below a certain difficulty target. In early Bitcoin blocks, Lerner noticed 1. Nonce values in the blocks followed a very specific pattern. 2. Some blocks had extra nonce fields that incremented in a unique linear way, unlike other miners. 3. These blocks were spread out regularly and did not overlap with blocks from other miners. 4. All the blocks in the pattern had their Coinbase rewards never moved. He visualized this and found a striped pattern, alternating between blocks that followed this non-structure and others that didn't. The consistent striping and spacing led him to believe these were mined by a single continuous mining operation. Technical characteristics of the Patoshi pattern. Regular timing blocks were mined at nearly regular intervals, not random like you'd expect with multiple miners. Distinct nonce ranges. The Patoshi miner only used certain ranges of nonce values that others didn't. Extra nonce increments. In early Bitcoin, if a miner couldn't find a valid hash, they would increment an extra nonce. The Patoshi miners' extra nonces were consistently increasing, showing sequential mining. No spent rewards. The blocks in the pattern all had their Bitcoins untouched. What does distinct nonce ranges mean in the Patoshi pattern? Lerner found that the Patoshi miner, presumably Satoshi, used only certain ranges of nonce values. The Patoshi miner used a limited and structured nonce range, while the standard 32-bit nonce space allows for over 4 billion possible values. Patoshi's mining software only scanned specific subsets of this space. Patoshi nonces primarily fall into specific buckets. For the least significant byte, LSB, the most famous finding is a significant gap in nonces between the values of 9 and 19. The Patoshi miner only scanned approximately 1.6 billion unique nonce values per block, which is about 38% of the total 4.29 billion possibilities available in the standard 32-bit nonce range. Reason 1. Early Bitcoin software limitations or debugging needs. In Bitcoin's early days, version 0.1, the software was not optimized for performance, may have had hard-coded limitations or experimental structures, could have been written intentionally to only scan a certain nonce range for testing or simplicity. Possible interpretation: Satoshi wasn't trying to mine as efficiently as possible. Instead, he may have been testing the system, measuring hash rates, debugging mining logic, avoiding collisions with other miners. Reason 2. Deliberately throttled mining. Satoshi likely didn't want to dominate the mining process too much, even though he could. He may have limited his nonce range and hash rate on purpose to leave room for others to join the network, avoid discouraging early adopters, prevent instant centralization. Mining too aggressively could have killed Bitcoin before it had a chance to spread. Reason 3. Identifiability through patterns was not a concern or was intentional. At the time, no one had foreseen the possibility of blockchain analysis as we have it today. But Satoshi may have even wanted to leave a traceable signature to show the coins weren't mined maliciously or to prove their origin later. The most widely accepted explanation is that the pattern was an unintended consequence of performance optimization. The Patoshi machine was likely a multi-threaded PC or a small cluster of PCs. To avoid different threads checking the same nonces, Satoshi assigned fixed subranges to each thread. This created the buckets and gaps we see today. It wasn't meant to be a secret code. It was just how his custom mining software handled parallel processing.